Hey now, say now, what's up, solar system? It's your girl, Righteous Soul, and today I'm actually going to be doing my very first Q&A. Go me! Yes, I initially was going to do my very first Q&A about a month and a half ago when I first started YouTube, and then I watched some of the people on YouTube say that's probably not a good idea, being as though you don't have enough support or subscribers at that time to actually for them to actually care about any of your questions and answers, to be honest with you. I did already by that time send out some posts on my social media asking people for questions and answers for my YouTube channel. So let me get into some of the questions you guys asked, and I hope I can answer them to the best of your ability. All right, let's go with number one. Where did your name come from? I'm not sure if you're asking me where did my stage name, Righteous Soul, come from, or where did my biological name, my birth name, Karen, come from, but I'll answer both. My biological birth name, Karen, was given to me because because of my Aunt Carrie on my dad's side. So I was named after my Aunt Carrie. So they named me Karen, and they spelled it Carin. All right. Righteous Soul. Now, I knew when I was searching for stage names for my poetry, I knew that I would want a name that could stick with me and that I didn't have to change down the line because it no longer matched me. So I came up with a name, I prayed about it, and I was like, you know what? This is it. This is the one. So I chose Righteous, just spelled Writeous, because it's a compilation of my my poetry and my spirituality. So I kind of mixed them together, and I came up with Righteous Soul, and that's how both of my names came about. Next up, do you drink? And if so, what is your favorite drink? Yes, I now drink occasionally. So and responsibly. I'm not a drinker that can drink and not be affected. Some people can drink and they can not be affected. I'm not that person, and because I started drinking later in life, I didn't have that tolerance built up. So now I try to definitely make it more so just by an occasion and not just drinking. So, but when I drink, I like to drink Blue Hurricane and Moscato Rubino. And that Moscato Rubino is a red wine. And how I used to describe it before I knew the name of it is that there's a girl on the bottle and she has on red and she's looking into the abyss. That's literally how I described that drink whenever someone was bringing it to me and I had to say what I wanted. And so yes, Blue Hurricane, a fun little fact, is now the color red, so it's no longer even blue. So now I don't even have to say the blue part, I can just say Hurricane, which is a Bacardi drink. Other than that, yeah, I may opt for margaritas if I'm out or somewhere, but I haven't been out in a while, due to the pandemic and due to my healing process. So there's that. Are you single? When you see me with Bay. Bay is always right there somewhere on one side of me or the other, and we get along just fine. So to answer your question, yes, I am single and taking my time on that. No hurry, no rush. What is something you've learned during quarantine? I've learned to always have a backup plan for the backup plan. I've just been facing a lot of things where if I just had a backup plan in place for it, I wouldn't be dealing with it. So sometimes just go the extra mile anyway to have a backup plan. So that's one thing that I would say. What is your idea of the perfect girlfriend? Oh, y'all really, I don't see perfect anymore when I think of a mate or, a girlfriend in this case. I don't see perfect anymore. I see two imperfect people coming together to make a perfect blend. That's what I see. And so I think that person is just someone that fits into my life, not forces themselves there, and not remaining there because they want to tolerate me. You know, I want someone who genuinely wants to be there, and in my eyes, that's perfect for me. You know, someone who wants to be there and someone who genuinely loves and cares for me for who I am and not what I can give them or my name or what I do, you know, but just who I am as a person. Because I'm really dope. I'm a cool person, honestly. And you get real with me. All right. So I hope that answers your question, whoever you are that asked that one. What inspired you to be a YouTuber? Well, before the pandemic as well as before my accident, I did not make much time to watch a lot of TV at all. So when I was forced to be on bed rest for months at a time without being able to go out or do anything, which was good because it's a pandemic, but it allowed me to, you know, get the remote and, you know, find some channels and things like that. And then at one point I was only watching YouTubers, and I watched them do pranks and challenges and things like that. And I knew and then they did a lot of vlogging and things behind the scenes, and I knew that those are things that I can do anyway. I wasn't doing pranks all the time or anything like that, but the other part of what they were doing came natural to me. So I figured, hey, this is something that I think I want to do. I want to be a YouTube content creator, and I can do this. I'm a creator naturally. So now we just put those creative genes to work a different way. So yeah, that's what inspired me. Some of the YouTubers that I saw were inspirations to me. What's something you want but don't have right now? I want a car. I had only had my last car for about a month and a half before I had the accident, and I had paid thousands of dollars for that car. I want a car, honestly, short, plain and simple. I want a car, and I'm hoping to get one, but I can't work right now with the injury. My ankle swells at different periods of the day, and it still has, you know, a little limp that is with my walk, and I'm slowly working those kinks out, but I'm hoping that by some miracle that I can get a car eventually. So yeah, that's that question. Something I want but don't have: a car. Let's see. How old are you? I am 36 years old. September 26th. So do you really like cougars, or do you say that to be funny? Okay, that's a good question, whoever you are. Do I really like cougars? When I say that, I'm not saying it to be funny per se, but when I say it, I don't really mean I want a 70, 80-year-old. You know, I mean in the sense of I want someone who's very mature and who operates with that maturity and thinks twice before the immaturity sinks in, and then they act according to that immaturity, if that makes sense. So in my observation, I found that older women usually are wiser in their dealings in relationships and dating, simply because they've been there, done that, and by that time they're tired of the game. So, and the younger women, I just don't know. I'm still learning the ropes. So I don't have a particular age in which I'm set on dating, but cougars, when I think of cougars, I think maturity. And so that's why I usually say I'm attracted to cougars. But honestly, I mean somebody who's in boss mode and someone who is very mature and nurturing. That's my idea of a cougar. So I kind of gave my own idea, and I know sometimes that runs away the younger girls. Hopefully the younger minded girls, it runs them away. But I'm not trying to run anyone away. If you are a viable candidate, I am definitely happy to oblige. All right. Are you happy? I am 100% happier than I've ever been, and I can attribute that to so much, but I am going to just leave it at that. I am 100% happy. Yes. And thank you for that question. It kind of has me reminding myself out loud, you know, because usually when people are happy, they don't have to go around saying it. You know, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy, but I genuinely am happy. And I appreciate the stages that it took to get me here. Next, do you have any regrets? Short and simple, I do not. I have no regrets whatsoever. There are some things, yeah, I wish I didn't do or hadn't have said, or maybe some interactions that I may have left behind had I thought twice. But honestly, I have zero regrets right now, because to regret anything would be to regret the happiness that came from it. And I like this place where I am. So thank you for that question. What's one of your favorite quotes? Y'all know I love quotes. I like memes. I like anything that makes you think and think twice. I came up with a quote that says, I look forward to looking back. And it's so true. I look forward to looking back on humble beginnings, and when my numbers were low, or when people weren't trying to book me, or when more people are going to be booking me in the future as a poet, as an event planner, as a YouTube content creator, or as an influencer, whatever it is that I'm going to be. I look forward to looking back, at the journey and seeing how far I've come. And another quote that I will add on top of that I recently discovered, and it says, I wrote it down: distractions don't look like distractions until they're done distracting you. And I need you to let that one sink in. Distractions do not look like distractions until they're done distracting you. Those two are really ones that I look at. And y'all already know my focus on your focus is always front and center for me. All right. Do you have any pets? No way. I had a fish once that was given to me as a gift, maybe. Yeah, last year, I think, for my birthday, maybe. I don't have that fish anymore. But I don't do pets like that. I don't like the idea of the fur, and for the furry ones, because there's some with scales and smooth skin too. There are those different kinds of pets. But when it comes down to the dogs and the cats, they just they jump all over you, and the owners don't think that that's a problem. But the people who they're jumping on may not necessarily be privy to the environment of pets, and so you don't want to be mean or ask someone to, hey, could you put your pet away, or could you ask him to at least stop jumping on me? And so I don't really do them, and they carry a lot of germs underneath whatever they're crawling over all day, or when they have to go outside. So I'm just really big on that whole but I love people with pets. That's the thing. And I love how cute the pets are. Man, the pets are so adorable. That's the thing, they get you there. They make you want to have them, and then you think twice when you think about, oh, nope, all the loud noises, or if dogs in particular have that thing where they're barking, and when someone's nearby or coming to the door, maybe the mailman or whatever it is, and they bark. My sister has dogs, and my brother-in-law, but some of the dogs are in the backyard. I think it's two, and then there's this little one named Scooby. He's in the garage. He's cute. I play with him a lot whenever he comes out. But other than that, and because when they're small, you can do that. When they're small and they can't really just be jumping on you. He's one of those little dogs. I don't know what kind he is, but he never gets big, and so he walks around with the biggest bark, like he is really going to do something to you, and he's not. So no pets. Don't prefer pets. You always see, and let me tell you what I always notice with pet owners, and they may not notice as much because they're not thinking about it anymore. They're immune to this thought. They always have the little hair over them, like the cat hair, the dog hair, and they don't realize that they do. And so if I'm in the middle about to eat with you somewhere and I see it, it just makes me like, oh my God. And then you got to sit on my items. Like if you have to sit on my bed or in my chair, I'm going to be like, oh, okay, it's okay. I have to calm my little brain down because that OCD be kicking in. I see those little pet hair. So that, at least y'all know that fun fact about me, and it's not so fun. But I love animals, and the idea of having those little people with you, because in a sense they're people for you, and a lot of people treat them as if they're their own kids. So you can't be walking around here like, get your kid away from me, or I don't want your kid jumping on me, right? So it's kind of rude. So I always try to be courteous, but for those who know me, yeah, I'm not a pet person like that anymore. Though we used to have a lot of animals, dogs in particular. I used to have two of my own, but no, I don't know if I want to answer that question. That's a little messy. Whoever you are, I can't remember who sent that question either. So I'm going to skip that one for the sake of I'm just in a different place right now, and that's where we're going to leave it at. Do you want kids? Not in this lifetime. No, I don't. I entertained the thought before because I thought I was going to marry someone or they were going to be my everything, and that world got rocked real quick. So no, I'm not going to be in the place for kids. I don't lead a life that's conducive to having my own kids, but I love the idea of being able to mentor or be a positive example for one of your kids, you know. So I like that, but not my own. Sorry, not sorry. Next up is, I have two more, y'all. 17 is, what are you most looking forward to after the pandemic? I am most looking forward to my solar system, and those are people that have been supporters of Writeous Soul, and I can find them about anywhere, but for the most part, I'm looking forward to putting on poetry, comedy, and music events, the cool kinds. Y'all, now that I've had a lot of time to think and a lot of time to plan and prepare, I am so looking forward to getting back out there with my event planner hat and giving you guys some very dope experiences in the city. Memphis, it's gonna be dope, and it's not just in Memphis, because I also get to finally kick off my tour. The pandemic stopped it for one, but then there was some other kind of people moving around that I was planning tours with that I didn't like the way those movements were going. So I had to be like, okay, let's reevaluate before you kick off something like this, because it's gonna look wrong and it's gonna feel wrong to you. So why don't you evaluate? So I was able to properly evaluate, think with my thinking hat, what's the best move for this, and I decided to wait and not do my tour around that time because it just wouldn't have been right. Okay, but so I'll get to do that. Those are the two things I'm most looking forward to, my tour, and now my poetry, comedy, and music events. Next up is, what is an unknown fact about you? I'm gonna go with more like an uncommon fact that people don't know, and it is that I am already an author. People are like, when are you gonna write a book? When do we get to read something? For those of you who know me, you know that I wrote a book at 19 and I self-published it at 20, and that was so long ago that since then I've had different versions of that book, but then I actually put it on hold so that no one could buy it anymore, and that was just because, you know, when you look back at where you are now to where you used to be, and then you see the style of writing and you're like, oh my god, what was I thinking back then? Almost when you look back to how you used to dress or how you used to wear your hair, that's the feeling that I had. So yeah, so I wrote a book at 19. I was in college. Shout out to Brandon Hobbs. He was a Sigma on campus, UT Martin Skyhawks. Woo! And he actually created my graphic design for my book, and I loved it. The cover illustration. And for those curious, the name of the book was Beneath the Shadow of My Wings, and that was my first book, poetry book. Yes, I have another one, which I'm going to consider my first one. That'll be coming out shortly here. But that's it for my Q&A, y'all. I think it was cool. You know, I tried to avoid being messy in any way. I didn't see, it was a couple of questions that I could have, you know, dig deeper in and made it, you know, more drama than it has to be. But for the most part, y'all gave me some pretty clean questions. So maybe next time I'll do a juicy one, a more juicy Q&A. All right, but I try to give you guys what you asked for, if nothing else. Even if it's not what you wanted, I gave you what you asked for, and that was the answer to the questions, truthfully. Thank you, guys. Be sure to subscribe, to like, comment in the comment section. Talk to me because I talk back, and you already know the rest. Hey now, say now, and we're out.